This is a huge development and improvement for the San Francisco Giants. We will be breaking down why one player's improvements at the plate towards the end of the 2025 season will be a huge solution to the bottom of the lineup. We'll be breaking it down here on SF Giants Digest. But before we get into the news today, this video is brought to you by Kalshi. When you download Kalshi to the link below and enter code DIGESTMLB, you will get $20 when you trade your first $100. Kalshi is the largest prediction market in the United States, and on their platform you can trade yes or no on real-life events. Whether you're in California, Texas, or anywhere else across the country, Kalshi is live in all 50 states. Now, the Seattle Seahawks did knock out the San Francisco 49ers, unfortunately, but they currently have the highest prediction odds on Kalshi to win the Super Bowl at 40%. You can check out all of the updated predictions on Kalshi.com right now. It's genuinely a smarter way to use your sports news knowledge, and you can close positions whenever you want. Download Kalshi with the link in the description, and don't forget to use code DIGESTMLB to get your $20 bonus. Thank you once again to Kalshi for sponsoring this video. Now, in today's video, like I mentioned, we are going to be breaking down why one player towards the bottom of the Giants lineup and his improvements at the end of last year could be a huge difference maker for the Giants in the 2026 season. Now, we don't talk about Patrick Bailey's offense a lot because of the fact that he is arguably, not even arguably, he is the best defender in baseball. Here you see on Fangraphs, according to them, that by fielding run value on the right-hand side, he has been the best defender in baseball across the last 3 seasons since he made his major league debut. Not to mention, in the middle there you see the DRS, that is defensive runs saved. He leads Major League Baseball in that stat as well at 52. Andres Menez is right behind him at 51 in that number, but he is still the leader across Major League Baseball in terms of defending at his position. Of course, he's won 2 Gold Gloves in a row, and that's why he is the starting catcher of the San Francisco Giants, because of how advanced, how elite, and how unfathomable his defense is behind the plate. His pop time is elite. His arm is great. Obviously, the framing is where he gets a lot of his value from. He steals a ton of strikes. And I know with ABS Challenge coming, a lot of fans are down on Patrick Bailey's value heading into next year, but it will not make as big of a dent in his value as a lot of people are thinking, and I can promise you that. Now, when you look at the Giants lineup, the top half is great. Jung Hoo Lee, we like. Willy Adames, Rafael Devers, Matt Chapman, awesome. Elliot Ramos, an all-star 2 years ago. You hope you can kind of recapture that and take another step forward after taking a step back in 2025. Bryce Eldridge, the top prospect in the organization, arguably the best prospect this organization has seen since Buster Posey himself, the president of baseball operations. And then the bottom 3 is where things get dicey. Now, Casey Schmidt has had some flashes. Luis Matos, a former top prospect who has shown a few flashes, but has been a bit of a letdown throughout his entire major league career. And then right there, you see Patrick Bailey highlighted, and his bat overall has been absolutely awful across his major league career. His first season, he started off hot, then fell off a cliff. His second year in 2024, he looked like an all-star for the first 2 months, but then again, fell off a complete cliff and was awful for the last 3 months of the year. And then last year, he was awful for the majority of the year, if we are being honest. But we will be breaking down some of the advancements he made at the end of last year and why it will be huge for next year's team in San Francisco. Now, when you look at his complete slash line or his complete stats for his entire career on the offensive side of things, they're not great, and we know that. You see, last year he slashed 222, 277, 325 for a 70 weighted runs created plus, a strikeout rate right under 30%, and it was his worst offensive season of his career. Now, somehow, with numbers like that, he was still able to rack up 3.2 wins above replacement. That shows you just how advanced his defense is and how much value it brings to the field. He's still a top 10 value guy in baseball when you're talking about catchers at his position. But either way, we know the offense has not been there throughout the majority of his career. He may go on some hot streaks, he may have some runs, but overall, on a consistent basis, the offense has not been there. And last year, he had the least amount of home runs in any season across his career, despite being, not known as a huge power guy. It is still not something you love to see from a guy who should be entering his prime as his 3rd season in Major League Baseball. But there were some things last year that you might get excited about for the Giants heading into next season. Now here, I broke down his years from basically half to half, and the first 2 years you notice a pretty obvious trend. When you look at 2023 and 2024, the first halves were absolutely great. Second halves, not so great. I mentioned earlier, in his rookie season, he started off pretty strong. For a little bit under 2 months to start his career, he was slashing 282, 312, 470, a 782 OPS with a 111 weighted runs created plus. So he was 11 points above average during that span. But then the end of the year, he fell off a complete cliff, hitting under the Mendoza line, only 2 home runs, a sub 530 OPS, and a sub 50 weighted runs created plus. So not good whatsoever. And the same thing happened in 2024, but on a more extreme level. You see from opening day till the middle of July, he was slashing 283, 354, 430 with 7 home runs, a 784 OPS, and a 121 weighted runs created plus. Like I said, he was looking like an all-star to start that year. When you mix in that with his defense, he was on pace to be one of the most valuable players in Major League Baseball if he were able to do that across an entire year. But similar to his rookie year, he fell off a complete cliff. From July 16th to the end of the season, he hit under 180, only 1 home run, a sub 450 OPS, and a weighted runs created plus of 24. So it was clear throughout his first 2 years that he may be a good offensive hitter, but for some reason, at the end of the year, the second half, his legs might be tired. He might be fighting some injuries, just growing tired, losing weight across the course of a 162-game season as a big league catcher. His body might not be used to it, but either way, for some reason, the offense fell off of a complete cliff. And it looked like the same thing in 2025. He just looked like what he had done in the second half for the first 2 years of his career. It looked like we were going to get a full year of that for the majority of 2025. You see from opening day to July 31st, 205, 265, 293. At least on this run, he was hitting over 200, which we hadn't seen at points across his career, but still, just 2 home runs, not a lot of power, a 558 OPS, still not great, and a weighted runs created plus of 58. So still below average by a wide margin in the majority of aspects. But the one improvement we saw was that for the first time in his career, we saw him improve at the plate at the end of the year. We saw his legs not look like they were, completely heavy, not under him at all. He looked healthy to end the year. He looked stronger, and his at-bats were getting better as the year went on, which we have not seen from him across his entire career. So there is hope that he figured something out because of the fact that usually he's awful to end the year. 2025, he was great to end the year. Now, if you were to make this into a smaller sample and go from, the middle of August to the end of September, it'd be even better numbers, but I wanted to drag it out a little bit more, so it's a bit of a bigger sample. But he slashed 253, 298, 380. He did hit 4 home runs, which was more than he had in the last calendar year up to that point. A 678 OPS, which still isn't great, but you have to remember this guy is an elite defender, and a 91 weighted runs created plus. All we need from Patrick Bailey is close to league average offense. He would literally be one of the most valuable players in baseball by B-WAR, F-WAR, whichever way you want to look at it. He would be one of the most valuable players in the league if he were to put up numbers similar to what he did at the end of 2025. All we need him to be is between a 90 and 100 weighted runs created plus. Around a 700 OPS would be amazing, and he would be even more valuable to the San Francisco Giants. Now, I know a lot of you in the comments are going to say that this means absolutely nothing, but I do think that it is something to note that he ended the year on a strong note, which we have not seen from him across his career. There's a slight glimpse of hope that he figured something out, whether it was a coaching, a swing adjustment, a mentality thing, just a confidence thing, who knows? But for some reason, for the first time in his big league career, he ended the year on a good note on the offensive side of things. Now, the one bright spot across Patrick Bailey's entire career on the offensive side has been his clutch factor. I put out a tweet earlier today just because I was doing research for this video, and his RBI splits are absolutely absurd. You see RBIs in innings 1 through 6, 77 RBIs across his career during those innings, in almost 800 plate appearances, in innings 7 through 9 and extra innings, which is going to be significantly less at bats. Obviously, it's less innings, and you don't go to extra innings that often. So in only 461 plate appearances, he has 72 RBIs. So I noted at the bottom, almost half of his career RBIs have come in the late innings, which is pretty crazy considering it's in more than 330 less plate appearances. So maybe we just tell Patrick Bailey that every inning is like the 8th inning and he'll become one of the best hitters in baseball. But obviously, if we're being serious, he has had the clutch factor, and that is worth something. You have confidence that when he comes up with a runner on second or third towards the end of a game, he will be able to deliver in a lot of cases. It's showcased in his RBI totals. Now, the slash line is slightly better in innings 7 through 9, but it's not a huge jump in terms of overall value. But in terms of driving in runs, there is a clear difference in comfortability when hitting at the end of a game with some big situations on the line. We saw it with that walk-off inside the park home run against the Phillies in the middle of the year, and then we also saw it with the walk-off grand slam from the right side. I should know he's significantly better from the left side, more comfortable, but the walk-off grand slam from the right side off of Tanner Scott to walk off the Dodgers, and what looked like was going to be a fun playoff push for the Giants towards the end of the season. Now, let me know down below what you think. I'm sure a lot of you think I am absolutely crazy for thinking Patrick Bailey could be a valuable hitter at the major league level, but if you think about what he did at the end of 2025, some of the moments he had, the run he went on to the last month of the year, he was a very good hitter. You mix that with his defense, and he could be arguably the most valuable player in baseball. That sounds crazy, but with how advanced his defense is, how valuable his glove is behind the plate, it is a real possibility. Like I said, let me know down in the comments what you think of Patrick Bailey's bat in 2026. Before we go, make sure to go down below and hit that subscribe button. I've noticed 82% of you guys watching the videos are not actually subscribed. It's completely free, takes just a second, and it helps out the channel. That'd be much appreciated. As always, make sure to like the video, go down below, subscribe, and thanks for watching SF Giants Digest.